Last night, Stephen Kenny's Republic of Ireland team had a very spectacular 4-0 victory over Qatar. That's 7 goals in 2 days, in 2 games. No goals conceded. And I'm joined now by John Giles and Liam Brady to look back at the 2 games. We talked to John on Monday. So, Liam, thanks very much for joining us. Liam, we'll start with you because we didn't get to hear your summary of the Azerbaijan game. 3-0, and in some ways, in between the 2 goals we scored in the first half, they dominated the game. What did you make of it overall?
Well, I think after the Serbia game, Eamon, which we drew and came back well to draw, we had Gavin Bazunu to thank that we were still in the game, but we came back well, and then we had these 2 games which we were expected to win, and we've done it, and we've done it well. So I would have said that we built on the performances against Portugal and against Serbia and done well. The football was good. Like the first goal against Azerbaijan was excellent because we passed it through midfield and it was a smash and finish. So all in all, I think it was a very good week for the Irish team and for Stephen Kenny.
Yeah. John, the game last night, again, Liam's talking about passing the ball. The first goal that Callum Robinson scored after 4 minutes, there was 2. He got the ball 2-1-2s. It was a deflected shot, but it was a good shot. But it came at the end of a good little passage of football. What did you make of the performance last night?
That was good, Eamon. I thought they did what needed to be done, and they did it well. They totally outplayed the opposition. There's no doubt about that. And good to get the goals.
Right.
It always is good. But I think to get the win and to do it as well as they did was a good boost again for the team and that.
Now, when we spoke to you on Monday, John, this is really a period in which Stephen Kenny's future is going to be decided. You felt that the jury was still out, if I can put it in that way, and you talked about future games. Did last night in any way change your mind about Stephen?
Well, what do you mean change my mind?
You weren't sure and you wanted to see more evidence. Would that be fair?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think the evidence last night was good. I said it was not dependent on the next 4 games.
Well, he's actually only got 2 games, John, after this one.
Yeah, but he's played 2, Eamon, already. He played the other day and won well. He played yesterday, and we had 4 games altogether, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's 2. That's two on the way, which is very, very good, and he's done it well. He's got a big game against Portugal, as we know. But that's a good start to the very, very important games that I was talking about. It couldn't have gone any better for him in these 2 games.
You wouldn't be convinced enough to offer him a contract at this stage?
No, I said I'd give him the 4 games, Eamon.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. Now, at the moment, obviously, the results and the performances have been very, very good. So he's well on his way, in my opinion, to earn a new contract.
Okay. Liam, your sort of take on it now in terms of the Euros. He's been in the job 13 months. It's been through a pandemic. It's at a time when he didn't really inherit much in the way of, in terms of attacking, he didn't inherit much. In terms of the defence, I mean, Shane Duffy and Egan, Enda Stevens, people like that, and of course the discovery of the goalkeepers we've got, that was a great inheritance. Your take on it now, Liam, because there's been some really trenchant criticism of Stephen Kenny all through his period. I mean, I can think of something our old friend Dee said, a number of things at the weekend. Brian Kerr on Virgin Media had a long and brutal criticism of Stephen a few weeks ago, poo-pooing the idea that he should get a contract. And this is something that the 2 most influential voices in the game here are yours and John's. What's your take on it now, Liam? Are you convinced or more convinced, or have you yet to be, as John's appears to, have you yet to be convinced?
I would be very much with John, Eamon. I'd like to see how we go on against Portugal. Obviously, if we can put up a good performance. Like, Portugal have a lot to play for when they come to Dublin.
Yeah.
They're behind Serbia, although they have a game in hand. So they're coming to Dublin to win. So if we could, I'm not saying not necessarily win or draw even, but we can put up a game, a real good game against Portugal, and then go on and beat Luxembourg, I'd have no hesitation in saying, well, he deserves it. He deserves the right to carry on. He is building for the future. I think Brian Kerr had a go at him because he kind of come out with this, well, I'm building for the future halfway through the group when the group was gone for us, you know. And I do think he made quite a lot of mistakes at the outset of his campaign, although I will hold my hands up and say he had dreadful luck with injuries and also with the COVID situation. Yeah. So I would prefer to have another 2 games before I would say I want to see him stay in the job or I don't want to see him stay in the job. But I'll tell you what's happened over the last few games is it's where he was really in a difficult place. I think the pendulum swung in his favour now.
Right.
Well, I would agree with that, Eamon.
Yeah. My view is I'm all in on him because I see what he's doing, the players he's finding that people didn't even know were there, and perhaps most of all, the words of Matt Doherty, Shane Duffy last night, Callum Robinson. The players really like working with him. They one of the tests that people put up, John, was have the players bought into what he wants, and they clearly have. Their endeavour, their enthusiasm, their willingness to pass. Like someone like Jeff Hendrick, John, can I ask you about Jeff? He's had a few bad years. He's lost his confidence. We've seen him play or not play for both for Burnley and for Ireland. He's at Newcastle now. He was really good last night, and he was really good on Saturday as well. So there's a player improved. There's no doubt in my mind that the players have bought into him. Is there any doubt in yours?
There's always doubt in my mind, Eamon, when players are talking about a manager who's in, who is the manager.
Yeah, I get that.
Always. I mean, what are the players going to say, Eamon? No, I don't like him. No. I don't like what he's doing.
It's what they do on the field that shows.
Well, of course it is what they do.
Yeah, of course, Liam, yeah.
On Hendrick, Eamon, he was playing against Azerbaijan. I've never seen such poor opposition as these guys. And let's not forget that we didn't beat Azerbaijan at home.
Yeah.
You know, Azerbaijan are no hopers. You know, we didn't beat them at home. We struggled to beat them at home. So you can't just sweep all that away, Eamon. You have to remember, like, we're behind Luxembourg in the group.
We'll finish in front of Luxembourg if we beat them away.
Well, if we beat them away, but that's why John and I are saying, well, let's see what's going to happen, you know. But we go to go about Hendrick, Eamon. You don't judge Hendrick and his form against Azerbaijan.
Well, he played against Portugal. Let's go back.
He didn't play that well against Portugal, to be honest.
Okay, let me go back to the Portugal performance with you, Liam, as we're talking now. That was a really, really good performance.
Yeah, I thought he was. I thought he was very positive. Was Kenny in his selection there? He picked wing backs. He switched Doherty to the left and he played Coleman on the right, didn't he?
Yep.
Coleman played in the back 4. They went back. In the back 3.
Not in that match, John.
He did.
I don't think in that match.
Not in that game.
Okay.
He played wing back.
Okay.
He had 3 centre backs, and one of them got injured, and then he brought the young lad on that's done so well.
Obama Delhi.
Coleman played right back, but then when we played Azerbaijan, he put him in the back 3, John. That's where.
Yeah, sorry. That's where I'm getting mixed up, Liam. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I got mixed up on that. Yeah,
he should have left the team the way it was, you know, or as near to where it was. But it was a really good performance against Portugal, and you know we could have won the game had it not been for, you know, McLean making a bad mistake and letting the cross come in and then, you know, falling back into the, you know, the edge of the box. And Ronaldo did the business, didn't they? But on overall, it was a really, really positive performance. But then we go into the Azerbaijan game, and he changed the team and made mistakes, and we were poor against Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan actually dominated the game in the Aviva. So, it's not. I don't think you can just say, "Oh, rubber stamp after 2 wins against Azerbaijan and Qatar." I think we have to wait for a bit more.
Right, a very good performance against Portugal, which I think we all agree on.
Well, yeah, I agree on that. But Serbia, we could have got hammered against Serbia. We came back only because the goalkeeper was magnificent. We didn't start playing in that game till the last 20 minutes, and it was the crowd that got us going, actually.
Oh.
So, that's where I'm hesitant to say, give him a contract now.
Right. John, you said on Monday when we talked, and a lot of people have said this, results. That's your criterion, yeah?
Yeah, well, generally, yes, of course, yeah.
So, and he hasn't got enough results in your book. What about the idea of progress?
Well, hang on, Eamon. Progress is progress. Of course, it's progress. But if you're looking at the 16, 17 matches, that's where I'm going on results. If we'd had the results that we should have had on paper against the likes of the teams that Liam mentioned there, he wouldn't be in the position that he's in now.
There are extenuating circumstances. For example, injuries. Callum Robinson, who scored 5 goals in the last 2 matches, missed 8 games for Ireland because he had COVID twice. There are they were playing in an empty Aviva stadium, and that's not against Azerbaijan. That's not great. There are all kinds of things that he's had to deal with in the 13 months he's been in charge. Does that in any way factor in for you, John?
Well, of course it factors in if you're playing against the top teams, Eamon. But we're talking about Azerbaijan and Luxembourg and various teams like that. We haven't been playing great teams. Eamon, Portugal's the best team we played. But I think despite all the circumstances, we should be beating Azerbaijan and Luxembourg. We've been looked twice by Luxembourg, Eamon. That's what has him in the position that he's in now. Of course he's making a comeback, and I hope he does. But that's what's led up to this particular situation.
Liam, the results obviously matter, and people, are judging him on the fact that we've won 2 games, or is it 3 now, in the 17 he's had.
Well, we won against Andorra in a friendly, didn't we? The first competitive win was Azerbaijan away.
But there's a point I want to put to you and to John. I think all of us agree that Michael O'Neill did a really good job with Northern Ireland, a brilliant job.
Absolutely. And he had to wait a long, long time before any kind of wins or good results came along. Yeah,
I have the stats in front of me and the matches even. In his first 18 games, Liam, Michael won 1. They beat Russia 1-0. Apparently they were steeped. They beat them 1-0. Now, using the yardstick that you and John appear to think is vital, Michael would have been gone from Northern Ireland on the basis of results. The point I'm trying to make is not to undermine you or John. It proves how difficult it is when you take over an international team and try and change it. Because you have them for a week or less than a week, then they go back to their clubs. It's stop, start. And I'll put this to you, John. It's stop, start, because you've managed an international team, a team with much better players than this one. So it's very difficult for Stephen. It has been exceptionally difficult. Now, Michael O'Neill might have been gone.
Look, when you're bringing me into the situation now, what are you saying?
I'm saying if results are the criterion by which Stephen is to be judged, if you'd applied that criterion to Michael O'Neill, who I think we all agree did a really great job with Northern Ireland, he'd have been out.
But you're saying something about what I'm doing.
I didn't say anything what you did. I said, I want to know.
I don't know what you're saying then.
I want to know. Okay, let me put it. What would you expect that would be acceptable against Portugal?
Well, I'm not not against Portugal, We're talking about 17 and 18 matches going on. That's what Stephen got. He's got in matches that, in my opinion, despite all the situations that you're talking about, we should be beaten. Luxembourg and twice, and
we didn't
Finland
lose to Luxembourg twice. We drew once, and we got beat once. And when Jack Charlton was managing the Irish team, and it was some Irish team, we drew with Luxembourg 0-0 in Luxembourg.
Now, you're picking out things with Jack Charlton. Jack Charlton took us to World Cups and European Championships. Of course, you get an odd situation like that. But Jack didn't lose his first 16 and 17 games. I want Stephen to do well, but you have to go on the results, Eamon, when you're doing it. You can't wipe it on results and you bring Michael O'Neill. And of course, it can happen in that situation. It can also happen that managers do well from the start in international situations.
Okay, is he making progress?
I would think so and hope so in the last two matches. Like Nadeem said there, like the last two teams we've played, Eamon.
The last three matches, Portugal, Azerbaijan and Qatar. Is that team making progress?
And Portugal is not the last three matches. We played somebody in Dublin after that.
Serbia.
After that. So let's get everything.
Right.
Let's get everything right here. Then he's played two matches. In the last two matches, the Irish team have played well and they won well, and it's very, very
How
good.
How did they play against Serbia?
But they weren't Portugal and they weren't Germany in these teams.
How did they play against Serbia then? They drew 1-1. They got a standing ovation leaving the pitch.
We're in Dublin. In Dublin, we didn't play well against Serbia at all.
Liam?
Yeah, I agree with John. It was only the last 20 minutes that the team showed courage. I tell you what, when we're assessing whether he should get the job or not, I think he's got the public on his side, and we're not going to make the call, are we?
No.
But the people in the FAI are, and when they look at
people want to know what you and John think.
I think, Eamon, I said to you the other day.
What I think after the last two games.
Right.
After we've been away to Luxembourg and winning, I want to see us win against Luxembourg. Luxembourg has conceded 14 goals in the group, and yet they beat us in Dublin, Eamon. That's the fact, right?
Right.
So I want to see us go away to Luxembourg, carry this good form in. Hopefully we'll have a good showing against Portugal. I want to see us go to Luxembourg and beat them.
Right.
And then I would think I would be prepared to say, yeah, let him carry on.
Right. And John?
Yeah, I would say very similar to Liam. I think he has improved in the last two matches against not very good opposition, but it has been an improvement. But yeah, go to Portugal. Don't have to win against Portugal. Play Portugal, here. Put up a good performance, Portugal, and then you're finishing in a good light. And I'm all for Stephen getting a new contract, Eamon. I hope he does it. I think he's a good lad. I like him, and I want to continue to do well.
Right. Let me ask you about some of the young players who've come in, starting obviously with the goalkeeper, Gavin Bazumu, young Omar Bamidele, the performances of Shane Duffy, John Egan, Enda Stevens, Matt Doherty. These are really great pros. We really have defenders that are outstanding. I'll put it to you, John, that their performances alone for Stephen have been superb in very, very difficult circumstances. We cannot forget the circumstances of players having to withdraw.
Yeah, the good time. They've always been good players for us. They've been the backbone of the team under Mick McCarthy, and but don't forget what Stephen did. In his first match for the team, he left Seamus Coleman out.
Yeah, I know that.
He changed it totally to a back three, as we call it now. But these players have been there for before Stephen, and have been top class players, and they really are good players, and they're playing well for Stephen now as well, which is great.
We both criticised Stephen for leaving Seamus out, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
I think so. Yeah,
I can assure you, because we both agree, and it's obvious. But he had to make a choice, and then the next mistake he made was trying to play both of them. But anyway, Liam.
It wasn't. That wasn't a mistake. I'm sorry. That's what he should have done from the very start, is play both of them. Like Doherty and him were superb in Portugal. They were superb in Portugal.
Exactly. But the point I'm making, Liam, is that when Stephen wanted to play both of them, right? And the mistake he made was
he didn't want to play both of them. He dropped Coleman.
Hold on a minute.
At the very outset. And he dropped Duffy as well. He didn't play Duffy either. He was flexing his muscles. He was saying, "I'm the new boss."
Okay,
that's what he was doing, and that was a mistake. That was a mistake.
Just let me point out to you that you've just made a mistake yourself. He did try and accommodate both of them, and he put Seamus Coleman on the right of a back
Not the
three.
very first game.
No, I didn't say it was the first game. It was John who said.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, not in the first game.
No, I didn't. Nobody said. I didn't say in the first game. It was subsequent to he dropped Seamus. Then he tried to accommodate both of them.
Yeah, by playing Doherty wing back and Seamus in the back three.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. We're on.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. We're on the same page now. Just a final question: given all the things he's had to face, Stephen, and given his courage in blooding young players, say Jamie McGrath last night, I think this kid is a really good player, and what I've seen of him, he's not a wide left in a front three player where he played last night, but he is a good player.
Eamon, you like horse racing, right? You could have a really good horse in a Mickey Mouse race, and he'd ring 25 lengths, and you'll say, "Oh, what a horse! This is an unbelievable horse."
Yeah.
But the lad is playing against Qatar, Eamon. Let's see him do it against Portugal.
Do what exactly?
Well, have his fair share of the game. Play well. Pass the ball. Get on the ball. Can he do it against Portugal?
All right. Let me ask you this finally, Liam. The last 4 matches have been Serbia home, Portugal away, and these 2 games we've just seen.
No, Eamon, no. Sorry. There wasn't Azerbaijan in between Portugal and Serbia.
Yeah. Okay. So the last 5 games,
at home, which we didn't win. We got a goal near the end to draw the match, right?
That's right. The last 5 games. Would you accept that in those games, when you take an overview of it, there has been progress?
Yeah, big progress.
Big progress.
Absolutely.
Right.
But I'm not rubber stamping. You've nailed your colours to the map, Stevie. I'm not rubber stamping yet till I get some more evidence in the last 2 games.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
No, that's fair enough.
I'm not against them. I'm not. You've heard me.
I don't know.
I've speak with you before. You've heard me on the television.
Yeah,
I'm not against them. I think maybe the next time after the 2 games we can have a chat about who's going to make the call on whether we keep him or not. That'll be an interesting conversation.
Well, it will be, because the Sunday Times has reported that the most influential voice in that conversation will be Packy Bonner, who's got a job with the FAI on some committee or other, international football team committee.
Well, that's another conversation, Eamon. I would say that's probably exaggerating Packy's role, but there you go.
Okay.
Let's wait for the next 2 games. I can't wait for them now after the conversation this morning.
Okay, Liam. John, just a final question. You have been in this job of managing the Irish team. You are aware of Michael O'Neill's struggles, and you've seen all the obstacles that Stephen has had to deal with. How did they need to play, or how did they need to do against Portugal to convince you?
Well, I think if they play well, Eamon, I wouldn't expect them to beat Portugal or be great against Portugal. But if they put out and give a good performance, maybe win the match, maybe draw the match, who knows? Then I'd love to see Stephen in the job. And I said last week, and for him to have the finish to bring him up to the contract. Now, he's made a good start in the 2 matches that he's made to get a new contract, in my opinion, and hopefully does as well against Portugal and the next team that's coming up. I can't remember who they are.
Luxembourg
coming up. I mean, you wouldn't expect them to be hammering Portugal by any means, but a good performance against them, and a win against Luxembourg.
Right. Just a final question to you, John. Always, and back to your days as a child and as a coach and as a player, you always loved the passing game. You always preached it way before Pep Guardiola or anyone else. You were always saying, we have to play the game the right way. Can I put it to you that one thing is crystal clear about Stephen Kenny? His teams, they play the game the way you like to see it being played.
No, they don't, Eamon.
Right.
No, they do not.
Would you
They do not.
elaborate on that?
Well, first of all, anyway, when I played, and my statement was, the game had to be effective. And usually, if you play it the right way, then it's going to be effective. I never had a style to say, this is the way we have to play, this is what we have to do. Because all matches are different, and all players you have is different. In Stephen's case, I would very, very much, not just Stephen, playing out from the back. Did I ever encourage playing out from the back?
No, that wasn't in vogue in those days. It was madness.
No, it wasn't, and it shouldn't be involved.
No.
It shouldn't be involved today.
No.
Either.
Yeah, and
so there's that's not right.
Well, he's changed that actually. I told Gavin Bazumu, particularly last weekend, they were knocking the ball forward and they were getting away from that. There was a bit of it last night, but I think we all.
Eamon, I'll give you a bit of support here. I think we are playing through midfield, which we haven't done under previous managers, and he's encouraging the midfield lads to get on the ball. Now let's see them. If everything's good, if they're backing the manager and the lads are confident, we'll show up well against Portugal. I wouldn't expect us to win, but we'll show up well.
Okay.
And let's see if we can play well.
Okay.
But then we have to carry on and finish it off against Luxembourg.
Okay. Well, I'm going to leave the last word with you, Liam. I'm very, very grateful, and I'm sure all our listeners are very grateful to you and to John.